This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 118 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. The person I was here just wasn't me. The fighting and the pain, it's what makes me me. I'm good with that, even if it means my end, because, you know, that other person kind of sucked. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who joined us this week.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City. This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're a bit on a skeleton crew this week. We're very ish.
Between snow and Christmas last minute thingies going on, it's a busy time of year.
It is. It's very busy.
It's all good.
Yeah. Thankfully, you know, at 13 days before Christmas, I have done Christmas shopping, so.
I just need to do wrapping.
I haven't even done wrapping. I'm so excited.
Look at you.
I know.
I finally got the
season
last
started,
bit of Christmas shopping done over the weekend.
So, well, as the temperatures drop and the snow starts rolling in, I'm like, I'm going to get my shopping done, so if the weather turns bad, I'm not being like, sorry, I didn't get you a present yet because I got snowed in.
Yeah, I don't have that excuse. Now I can just sit and enjoy my Christmas tree and wrap presents and sip hot chocolate or hot cider, whatever it is I have in my house.
Sounds good. All right. Anyway, we've got a decent amount of news. So, unfortunately, even though it's
10 o'clock news items,
even though it's Christmas time, the 10 o'clock news does not wait for no one, apparently.
2016 is getting its digs in while it still can.
Yeah, I got a few weeks left. Anyway, so our first bit of 10 o'clock news is Peter Vaughn, who most people may not know by his name. If you watch Game of Thrones, you knew him as Master Aemon. But apparently he's got a long, storied career, including a bunch of stuff that I haven't watched. But he was 93, so that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. So he lived a very long and lucrative life, as it looks like. And if you watch Game of Thrones, it's Game of Thrones. His character did die. I think we could safely say that. But he does have the distinction of being one of the few characters who died of old age. He didn't get murdered.
In the show.
In the show. Yeah, in the show. So, as far as Game of Thrones go, that's an achievement to have your character die of old age. And not be murdered or something, die some horrible death. It's sad.
And the next bit of 10 o'clock news, this is a name you might be a little bit more familiar with, possibly, is John Glenn, who is most notable, or most known for being the first, I believe the first man to orbit the Earth. He's an astronaut. Anyway, he passed away, and I am trying to open this link, and it's being really obnoxious. But I posted this on our Facebook page. Mostly, a lot of people were talking about it, but also he was you just kind of think about, in sci-fi, a lot of us are sci-fi fans, and the space program was just such such a big part of science fiction, and science fiction was a big part of the space program. They kind of fed off each other, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you hear stories about people who are working at NASA now who were big Star Trek fans back in the day, and a lot of Star Trek was inspired by, you know, astronauts going up into space and the space race and all that kind of stuff. And he was a part of that. So it's just sort of like, you know, he's, you know, want to honor him as a hero, and like Peter Vaughn, he also lived a very long and distinguished life. So it's not as sad as it could be, but it is still sad, and he will be missed.
Yeah. Well, that's our 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Moving on to,
it's never fun.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, you know, Well, we'll get more into the effects of having to do the 10 o'clock news when we do our year in review. Yeah. Pleasant things. Awards season is coming. It seems like, you know, one minute they're handing out the Oscars, next thing you know, the whole cycle's starting all over again. So starting with the Golden Globe nominations, which were announced this morning. For the most part, it's a bunch of actors and movies and TV shows that I personally don't watch and aren't really part of any of our fandoms, but there are a few notable ones, including one that just tickles me to no end, is Deadpool was nominated for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Like, you look at the other nominations in that category, it's like, okay. And then right there in the middle of the list, Deadpool. I'm like, that is awesome!
Yep.
Like, because in general, the superhero genre,
the critics ignore it. They're just like, oh, that's
lot.
You know, that's
You have to get into like the fan voted awards that really get the recognition, but like the mainstream, your Golden Globes, your Emmys, your Oscars, other than like the technical categories like sound design and, you know, makeup, superheroes get passed over. So for Deadpool to get nominated for Best Picture is just awesome. So, and Ryan Reynolds also got nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. So
we'll see how well that does. I don't have high hopes, but just the fact that they're nominated, it's just like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone on that nominating committee has an actual sense of humor, and I'm sure all the stuffy elite, you know, having a fit, but I'm like, ooh, this makes me happy.
I know, it makes me so happy. And Ryan Reynolds is just rolling with it. He is enjoying this so much, so. Can you blame him? No. Not really.
No. I you know what? It's too bad that, I don't know, it's like, I don't think they could have any ads out to advertise anything with Deadpool, but I think it would be funny if, like, they just did some YouTube videos of Deadpool saying, wait, I'm nominated?
Yeah. It probably will happen, actually, if Ryan Reynolds has anything to do with it. So.
Yeah.
I know he's already posted a picture of, like, Deadpool in, like, a Christmas sweater saying, thank you, Golden Globe committee. So. I love it. A couple more notables. Both Moana and Zootopia got nominated for Best Motion Picture Animated. I don't think we should really be surprised. Anything that Disney puts out pretty much gets nominated.
Yeah.
So, the Best TV Series Drama does have several shows in it that we have watched, including Game of Thrones, of course, because Game of Thrones gets nominated for everything. The Crown, and Stranger Things. So
Nice.
2 Netflix exclusive TV series got nominated. So we're starting to see more and more Netflix and Hulu, you know, exclusive shows get nominated for these things, which I think shows the strength of people consuming TV strictly through the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because like I haven't finished watching The Crown. I'm just kind of like catching an episode here and there, but it's typical award fair. I mean, it's good. I'm enjoying it, but it's it's something I would expect an award committee to say, "Oh yes, let's nominate this." Stranger Things, really? I'm just like, and I watched that all the way through, and I really liked it, and
me too.
I'm looking forward to season 2, and I'm just like, that's different. Okay, so again, same thing with Deadpool. Somebody on the nominating committee, likes good storytelling, whether it's sci-fi or historical fiction or whatever it is. So,
yeah, I mean, Stranger Things in itself, if you figure 20-ish years ago, like, you wouldn't have seen something like The X-Files get nominated.
Oh, no.
Not likely.
No.
So,
or maybe vague,
Yeah.
If there wasn't anybody else, they'd toss them in, because I think I only remember them, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, getting maybe nominated like once out of the whole run.
Yeah.
If fuzzy memory serves.
Yeah. So, it's cool, one, that, these internet-based TV shows are getting nominated, and two, it's not your, typical stuck-up formulaic drama or comedy. It's unique stuff with science fiction and, telepathic 11-year-olds.
and a bunch of goofy, nerdy kids playing Dungeons and Dragons in their basement. And it's just like, what?
Yep. So,
but
there's some others.
We'll see.
Yeah, there's some others that I didn't bother to write down. Some acting nominations that are involved with those shows. So
I'm just looking at it now. Winona Ryder is nominated Best Performance by an Actress in a Television Series for Stranger Things. Yeah. And in that same category, Katrina Balfe for Outlander, Claire Foy for The Crown.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Katrina Balfe and Claire Foy, I expect that, so.
Yeah. John Lithgow got nominated for The Crown, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Matt Smith did not get nominated.
No.
For his role on The Crown, so maybe next season.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But yay, award season. It's a-coming.
Yep. Now I'll get all excited, like, ooh, Stranger Things and Deadpool got nominated, and they won't get anything, and I'm just like, well, whatever.
Yeah, getting nominated is the first step, and then they start winning.
Then they start winning, and then it's just the things that win are like, yeah, nothing that I'm interested in, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, if I was allowed to vote, I would vote for Deadpool. We're like, so sorry to these Oscar grabs. I'm voting for Deadpool. Alrighty. Well, speaking of superheroes, a couple of them have broken the internet in the last couple weeks. So
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, more recently, we got not one, not two, but technically 3 teasers for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yep. They really wanted us to know that the Spider-Man trailer was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we got this short little teaser with Peter Parker and Happy, of all things. It's so nice to see Happy, because we haven't seen Happy in a while.
Yep.
And Peter's in this hotel room, and Happy's like, "What are you wearing?" He's like, "My suit." And it's like first person view, like Peter Parker's view. He's like, "My suit." And he's like, "Did you see the case?" And Peter gets a new suit courtesy of Tony Stark. So it's very Peter Parker, like, for a YouTube generation, like almost like vlogging himself at this teaser. And then, like, the very next day they dropped a domestic trailer and also an international trailer, and you need to watch both because one is longer than the other. At the moment, I can't remember which one's longer than the other, and they have slightly different scenes. So you're not getting the exact same footage in both trailers, so you want to watch both. But it looks totally awesome. I mean, you got Peter in the suit, and he's got his best friend, and they're like staring at chicks in the school lunchroom, and you've got Zendaya who's like, y'all are a bunch of losers.
They're high school boys. They're doing teenager things.
Yeah.
And it's
they're
just like,
definitely
hey.
making sure that people are like, hey, yes, Spider-Man, he was in Civil War, but just in case you didn't notice, this kid's a teenager. He's in high school. He's got high school things, he's got field trips and homework and all that. At the same time, he's Spider-Man and he wants to be a superhero. And you've got Tony Stark saying, you're not an Avenger. Don't do anything I would do. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. There's this little gray area. That's where you.
Yeah. This is where you live.
Yeah.
Tony, easier said than done.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like there's a line in both of the trailers where Peter's talking to his buddy, and he's like, I'm tired of him treating me like I'm a kid, and his friends are like, you are a kid. Like, duh. But it looks really awesome. Yeah, the Spidey suit's got some upgrades. He's got like wings. Very kind of flying squirrel-esque, but way cooler.
Yeah, it's like a glider type of a look.
Yeah. And then there's that scene with him and Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit, just like across the screen. Oh, that was awesome. So
yep,
it looks good. Everyone I know, especially I've got friends that are. Spider-Man is their superhero. You ask them, who's their favorite superhero? Who's their favorite comic book superhero? Spider-Man is it, and they wholly approve from what they've seen so far. So, Sony was done a very good thing of getting their head out of their butt and letting Marvel take Spider-Man back over. So
yeah, it's just like, guys, Spider-Man, you guys.
Yeah.
A for effort, but let's bring him home.
Yeah.
As the title says.
Exactly.
They know how to handle it. They know how to treat him well.
Yeah.
Anyway. And the other big Marvel trailer that sent everybody running for eBay to get more Baby Groot. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh my goodness. I've watched it so many times it's not even funny.
Oh my gosh.
As good as the Spider-Man trailer is. Oh my goodness. This is
I have to tell you, so Jared was at work when it came out, and we were over Facebook Messenger like squeeing over the trailer, and he's like, I think at this point I might actually be more excited for Guardians of the Galaxy than I am for Rogue One. He says he can't decide, so I'm like, why not both?
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, yes. I'm like,
I can't handle the Baby Groot. He's just so
well, and what's funny about it is everyone's saying, oh, they're just doing, well, not everyone, but a lot of people who are cynical and hate things that are fun are saying like, oh, they just have him as Baby Groot so they can sell more toys, and it's like,
it's working.
Then well, it's working, yeah. Well, James Gunn came out on, I think it was Facebook or something, and he said that was actually, that was the farthest thing from his mind when they were working on the script, is like, they were going to have big Groot at the beginning of the movie, but then they were like, they need to show, he thought they needed to show these characters, growing and having that, those character moments, and not just jump ahead a couple of years. And all of a sudden there's big, mean Vin Diesel Groot. It's like, let's see how these characters come together as a team. So yes, that means we'll have to have little Groot. Vin Diesel is still voicing him, which yay.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a different kind of Groot, and it's a different kind of Rocket, and and Star-Lord, and Drax. Oh my gosh, I think Drax is gonna steal the show, quite honestly.
I think so. Drax is, I mean, we got that bit in that first teaser where he's all like, you know, you need someone as pathetic as you are, and do you want a hug? And it's like,
no, I do not need a hug. So he hugs him.
Yeah. And
then in this one, he's like, she just discovered she just
told everyone your deepest darkest secret. You must be so embarrassed. Do me. Like Drax, I think Drax is trying so hard to, you know, not be like who he was in the first movie, which, you know, no offense to Drax, I mean, that's the way his particular species is. They're very literal. They're warriors. They're all about, you know, just very straight and narrow and no sense of humor or anything. So obviously Drax is trying to be more quote unquote normal and be more like everyone else. And, you know, he's trying really hard, and it's so funny. Oh.
Well, it goes back to that whole, you know, that they're trying to come together as a team and work together, and that's part of his character growth. And I'm just like, you know, if you have character growth and you can be an interesting, you know, entertaining, funny character, then yay, I'll take it.
Yeah. The band is back together, and it's just fabulous. So I can't get over the baby Groot with the little leather. Oh,
jacket. I know.
I know. Oh, it's my favorite. Yeah. I love it so much.
Like, I know it's not a cash grab for toys, but I need one. Funko, get on it.
Yeah, what's taking you guys so long?
I have the baby Groot bobblehead in the little pot, in the little plant pot. I need the baby Groot Funko in the little leather jacket. So,
yep.
I'm sure Funko is like furiously working on it. They're like, I can't crank this out fast enough. Yeah. I know they're just, you know, I'm sure they want to get it right. So it's like, be patient. Baby Groot will happen. And as soon as it does, I will buy 12. That's what people are going to be getting for gifts. And they're like, what is this? Like, it's adorable.
You need this in your life. I don't care.
Yeah. So he's so cute. So, and it is. I know, and I understand James Gunn's reasoning. You know, to, you know, if people don't realize that actually Guardians Volume 2 doesn't take the time between the end of the Volume 1 and Volume 2 is actually not that great. It's only like a few months. And that's also why Groot is so tiny. So, because he hasn't had a lot of time to grow up yet. But the thing with this baby Groot is his personality is different. He doesn't necessarily remember everything from before. So it's almost like having a whole new character.
Yep.
So that will change the dynamic as well. You know, before he was this big honking thing and could intimidate people, and, you know, Rocket was riding around on him. Now it's going to be the other way around. So,
well, we don't know when Groot and Rocket first met up, because Groot and Rocket could have met when Groot was big and tall. So baby Groot, first thing he imprints on, Rocket and the rest of the crew.
Yep.
Exactly.
I love
this. So honestly, this is my theory about it. It has no basis in anything. It's just kind of my how I think things are going to go. I actually think Groot is going to be big by the end of this movie. So then we're like, okay, we had our baby Groot, and so now we go back to big Groot. So it's like, so, you know, I like him. It's like, don't overuse him.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting. We'll it'll definitely be entertaining. So.
Of course.
And we got new music. So our first steps into Awesome Mix Volume 2. Although it's I'm so used to every single trailer using Hooked on a Feeling. And like, we can finally get a trailer that doesn't use it. And I'm like, Wait, what is this music? This isn't Blue Sweet.
What are we gonna do with this? Come on! Oh wait,
it sounds awesome anyway. So
it does. I'm not complaining.
Nope. Anyway, move on
it's
before
all
we.
Good.
Yeah. We could spend an hour just squeeing over baby Groot.
Yep, we could, but
let's move on to things that don't involve tiny little trees wearing leather jackets. So we got speaking of teasers, we got a teaser, and when I say teaser, I mean teaser for the DuckTales reboot. So it's like one still image and like a 5-second video, and all it is the logo, essentially. So it's like DuckTales Summer 2017, and like that's all we're getting. Like, okay.
But they are. I don't remember if we knew that they were going to have the original theme. Basically,
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but now we know that yes, they will.
Yeah, they kind of have to. So it's they're just some things you don't mess with, you know. They could maybe update a little, you know, kind of like Fuller House, where it's still the same thing but slightly updated. Like, you could do that, but other than, you know, it's like, don't replace the theme completely.
No, it makes me wonder if we're gonna get Tailspin and the Rescue Rangers.
I imagine this is probably a barometer test. And see how well this does, and if it does well, then I would imagine that the others will come after. So, like, let's do this one and see how it does, and if it works, then Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, yes please.
All of the things.
All of the things. So, but I mean, everyone's coming back. You know, Uncle Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Donald. You know, Launchpad McQuack.
Yep.
So it's
Abby.
Yeah. So,
yep.
It's gonna be awesome. But it's supposed to come back summer next year. It will be 21 half-hour episodes and 2 one-hour specials.
Cool.
So look towards the House of the Mouse on your TV provider for that next summer. Yeah. And last but not least, speaking of Full House and Fuller House,
which I binge watched on Friday and I loved it.
I haven't watched any of it yet. I need to.
It's good. It made me so happy.
I know. I need to. Chauncey and I have been busy binge watching Lord of the Rings.
Are you one of those people that rewatches it every
no,
Christmas?
We haven't actually watched it in several years, but because we rearranged, slight tangent here, or slight story, we rearranged our living room so that we can properly watch TV now. So, like the couch, and then we got the nice big chair facing the TV, and the TV's in a proper entertainment center now we use the Xbox as our DVD player. So now that we've got a good setup, where we can just sit and watch TV or watch whatever, and Chauncey's like, let's watch Lord of the Rings. And of course, it's not just Lord of the Rings, it's my extended edition 12 DVD box set.
That's the way to
4 discs per movie. But we've been slowly watching that because it's, you know, each movie is 2 DVDs, plus there's 2 DVDs of behind the scenes stuff. So we just finished the second disc of behind the scenes stuff for the 2 Towers, so we can start on Return of the King. But yes, we've been watching that instead of Fuller House, which we probably should take a breather on Lord of the Rings and watch Fuller House. But
it will definitely be a breather.
Yeah.
But anyway,
after that,
I kind of derailed that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That is okay. Anyway, I think we actually mentioned it on the show at one point that the the house that they used for the exterior, that giant San Francisco red door, house that they used, was on the market, and it has since been purchased, and thankfully it wasn't purchased by a random person. It was actually bought by Jeff Franklin, who actually created Full House. So technically it is in the family.
Mm-hmm. I follow Candace Cameron Bure and Andrea Barber and Jodie Sweetin and John Stamos on Instagram, and they had a big party to Franklin invited him over hey, here's the house, and they took pictures and they all said hey, the house is in the family now, and they can, he's probably gonna rent it out and do something with it, but it'll be taken care of, and people will, I think there'll be a limited thing where people can come see it. But now they're saying now we can actually get some new exterior shots, so people aren't seeing the same thing that we've been looking at for 30 years for Fuller House and all that kind of thing. Because I guess when they originally picked that house for the exterior, the owners were like, yeah, you can do it, but you can only do it, for so long. So they didn't get to go back and reshoot anything. So they've been using the same stuff since the show was originally aired. But it was, so, it's kind of cool. It's a piece of TV nostalgia, and now someone owns it that isn't going to be all these stupid Full House fans come by and see this, and we live here. And I'm certain the previous owners weren't terribly thrilled about having people drive by really slow just to see the house.
Yeah.
No, it's really cool. And I'm excited.
Yep.
Not that I'll be seeing the show anytime, or seeing the house anytime soon in person, but it's still kind of neat.
Yeah. I was in San Francisco earlier this year, and we drove past some of the more statuesque. That particular row of houses is known as the Painted Ladies, and it's a very iconic. That hill is very iconic where that park is. That's a right there. We never actually made it down that particular street, but it was very, very cool to see similar houses in the areas that we did go to, and I'm like, this is where Full House took place. It's very cool, and I'm glad that he was able to purchase it. I would have if I'd had $4 million laying around with something better to do, but I don't. So good for him.
Well, it's at least it's in the hands of somebody who's going to care about it.
Yeah, and he said he's going to renovate it so that the inside looks more like the Tanner household actually look like on the inside, so that they can have people over, for cast parties and potentially rent it out to people who are feeling very nostalgic, which I think is very cool. So, but he said it's gonna take a good 6 months to do the renovations, and he went ahead and repainted the door the iconic red, but he's gonna leave the door off for now so that it doesn't get damaged during the renovations, but eventually that iconic red door will be there and people can come and take pictures, and you won't have people living inside going, get off my doorstep. So
get off my lawn, stupid kids.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's what they said.
I imagine he'll be more than happy that, for people to come take pictures in front of the iconic door and those steps and all that, so maybe
that's why he bought it.
Maybe even peek in a window and be like, I see the blue plaid couch.
And this is where Stephanie backed the car into the kitchen.
Exactly.
Oops.
Oh, good times, good times. Alrighty. Well.
Anyway, that's our news.
Yep. A little bit of news. Some squee-worthy stuff. So.
Although, real quick, I just opened up Facebook and saw this. Apparently, as we're recording tomorrow, is Sarah Sutton's birthday, who played Nyssa in Doctor Who's in the day, and she's one of my favorites. So I'm like, happy birthday! She's one of the Doctor Who people I have yet to meet that I really, really want to. Yeah. Because I love Nyssa. Anyway, that was all.
Hey, no, yeah, it's all good. So it is all good. So I guess if we wanted to drop a little stuff in there, then I don't know if anyone else noticed, and this is also a nice little segue because we'll discuss these in airing order, so we'll do Once Upon a Time first. But congratulations are in order to Rebecca Mader, who got married a couple weeks ago. She made an announcement on her Instagram. So she got married on Doctor Who Day, actually, November 23rd. Yep.
Probably had nothing to do with it, but still.
No. But it'll make it easy for us to remember her wedding anniversary.
Indeed.
Well, after that segue into Once Upon a Time here, Once Upon a Time! Season 6.
Once Upon a Time. Okay, then.
I guess it's not Season 6A because we're continuing this storyline after the break, so.
Yes, it's a full-on season, and I gotta say, for all my griping and complaining at the end of last season and the beginning of this season, they've done a lot better. Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so, and especially for Belle. I mean, I want to give them a big round of applause and just say, way to go, guys! You finally figured it out. That Belle is not this doormat. That she's not going to sit around and wait for Rumple to get his act together. And it's very, very wonderful and very refreshing, and made her one of my favorite characters. Whereas before, she was just sort of there, didn't really do much.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm just so used to having the split season that I don't want to say I'm necessarily getting bored, but at the same, it's a change. It's kind of a rough change after what 2, 3, however many seasons we've been doing the
I think it's 3 because they did. Third season was Neverland and Oz. Fourth was Frozen and the Queens of Darkness, and then fifth was Emma's the Dark One. Then it was the Underworld. So that's been 3 seasons. Yeah. And maybe it's because those story arcs were so rushed because they only had 12 or so episodes to finish a story arc in. Whereas this year they have a full 23 episode long season to do all this. So I'm just because now they can kind of they can let things kind of simmer a little bit. It might feel like they're stretching it out a little bit, but I think when they're focusing on different things, like they focus on Emma and her problems with being the savior, and then they had those few episodes with Aladdin and Jasmine, and then there was the bit with Rumple and the Black Fairy and Belle and her baby and all of that. Yeah. Which I thought it was funny that in the one episode it just was like, oh, by the way, the Black Fairy is Rumple's mother, and they just were like, it was a lot quicker than how we found out who Rumple's father was. It was just like, oh, by the way, this is a thing. Moving on.
Yeah, and then they just move on. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How do you just drop this bombshell? Oh, by the way, Rumple's mother is a fairy and not a good one. And and then they just move on to the episode. I'm like, wait, what? Go back. Go.
Now, how much do you want to bet later on that we find out Blue and the Dark Fairy are somehow related?
No, it wouldn't surprise
Like
me.
Blue
I
Fairy
mean,
would be auntie.
we know how the family trees are in Storybrooke. So.
Yeah.
Yes, and and Blue has always kind of had another little agenda going on. It seems like
she looks a little shifty at times. Yeah.
I mean, well, like she just randomly. Okay, so like Belle sent baby Gideon with the Blue Fairy, and then she shows back up and she's beat up and everything, and it's just sort of like, okay, I can understand why that would have happened suddenly, but at the same time, I'm like, there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
What are you not telling us, Adam and Eddie?
And then I'm wondering too if the Blue Fairy that Belle gave baby Gideon to wasn't actually the Black Fairy in disguise, and nobody was the wiser.
That could be.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's cool.
Yeah. We're on break. It's time to speculate.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just... Yeah, I'm glad that they did tie up some things, like they tied up the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing fairly early on, which was good. They didn't drag that out. Aladdin and Jasmine really haven't a lot.
They haven't.
I'm wondering, and now they've left to go find and save Agrabah, and I wonder maybe if they might not come back, especially considering now Aladdin's a genie. That might not play into things in the second half of the season, but they just we got our nice little Aladdin Jasmine backstory with the scenes in Agrabah, and we got the flying carpet, and there's Jafar, and all the fun stuff, and then suddenly they're in Storybrooke.
Is this the last we've seen of Jafar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, because they made such a big deal out of the whole Aladdin and Jasmine thing, and it could have been just because marketing and everyone loves Aladdin and they want to see the Once Upon a Time version of it, but it's like they were just in the one episode, and they popped up every now and again, but they didn't do much with them, so I'm just like, okay, why make such a big deal out of it and then not use them? Is this just sloppy marketing, or is there something big going to happen later that we don't find out until later?
Which I think that may be the case. I mean, before they departed, Aladdin did give, I think Henry that medallion thing to give to Emma. As from one savior to another. So, and the fact that they do have, essentially a genie on their side.
Yeah. So, although I was kind of I don't want to say let down, but a little. It was kind of anticlimactic when they had the whole, Aladdin is the savior for Agrabah and all this stuff, and it didn't seem like there was that much to it. I kept waiting for more to show up in flashback or something, and so I'm just like, okay, where else? Where's the rest of this story? And it's just kind of
like he was having the same, shaky hands. That Emma's been having, and then suddenly he pops up in Storybrooke and he's fine. Other than he's got survivor's guilt apparently, which every hero apparently has a survivor's guilt. And
I'm kind of wondering how did that process of getting rid of your savior powers work? I mean, he says, oh, these magic golden shears did it, and it's like, okay, they just look like a pair of fancy scissors, but sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, there's more to come. There's gotta be.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the whole season, and so we won't really find out about it until later.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Well, they do have some rescuing to do when it comes back, so we left it, and Emma and Regina are stuck in an alternate universe, essentially, where Emma was never the savior. So,
and she was Rainbow Princess Sparkle Poo, and I was like, I'm glad this is an alternate reality.
It's like no offense to Jennifer, she cleans up well, but the frilly princess look is not really her.
No.
And the boots. And...
The boots, the jeans.
Yeah.
Sheriff, please.
Or even the blue pirate kind of looking outfit from the season 4 finale.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. It was. I think it was meant to be kind of awkward and uncomfortable to watch because we know that Emma is the strong hero type that comes in and saves everybody, and then to see her as this weak-willed, ineffectual, take me and spare my kingdom because I don't know how else to save them.
Yeah,
it's just like, and it was so funny watching Regina as the evil queen. Try to be evil, and it's just she's just getting more and more frustrated. And I was laughing. I know it was like a dramatic, serious thing, but it was funny to me. I just was like, she really isn't the evil queen anymore. And
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, Regina, now you're getting your wish for the Emma that you wished for in season 1. And tables turned.
Yeah.
But this Princess Rainbow Sparkle Poo Emma is not cool. That quote I used at the beginning, that's straight from her. She's like, that person sucked.
It's like, yay! And I'm glad they didn't drag that out. It was just for one episode because more than that of sweet and ineffectual Princess Emma, I probably would have been like, nope, we're out of here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not out of there, so that should be...
okay, they're not out of there, but Emma remembers who she is.
Yes, that is the important thing. But now they're stuck in this alternate timeline or alternate universe or whatever you're going to call it, where, depending on how much longer they stay there, Emma may have to, Emma's the princess. She has Henry. Technically, her parents in that universe now are dead because Regina killed them.
Ooh.
So,
ooh.
And Rumple is running around because Regina let him free. And apparently this Rumple is even more touched in the head than the Rumple we know.
Zelina had him in our normal universe.
Yeah. Although what would be fun is if Princess Emma found a pirate hook and, sparks flew still. They really have the princess and the pirate thing going.
Yeah.
Although it'd probably still be the wrong hook, so.
Yeah.
That would be sad.
But we do.
But Regina found Robin Hood.
Yep, we do.
And he's alive.
Yeah. Because it's an alternate universe. So.
Yes.
That's the
thing. Bring him back.
Yeah. People were, they were teasing about Robin coming back. But at the same time, the producers are like, yeah, he's dead. Robin's definitely dead. Yeah, that Robin is dead. Alternate universe Robin is not dead. Loophole.
Yep. I'll take the loophole, sure.
Yep. But at some point, Emma and Regina are going to have to find their way back, assuming Regina's willing to leave.
She kind of pulled a Rumple there.
Yeah,
where they had the portal open, it was closing, and she's like, "But I can't leave." It's like, "Yes, you can. Just grab him and go." Oh,
exactly.
Never mind. We'll explain later.
The fact that Robin Hood was robbing 2 women in the middle of nowhere as a portal was obviously open. Okay. You're a thief, I guess.
Follow us through the green portal.
Yeah.
Just come with us. Come with us if you want to live.
Yeah, really.
Because
Yeah. But yeah. Oh. That should be interesting. So, although with them being in the alternate universe, we know Emma is safe from being killed, at least at this point. So,
That is true, because her death does not happen in Enchanted Forest.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But yeah. We probably ought to talk at least a little while about Charming and Snow's sleeping Lady Hawk curse.
That hasn't been resolved yet.
No, which if you don't know the reference, Lady Hawk is a movie that is about it's a fantasy movie. It's this couple, like, during the day the man is a wolf, and during the night the woman is a hawk. So it's like these two, they're in love, and they can never be together as humans. So that's what I've been referring to it as. A lot of people have probably seen the movie, but just in case someone out there hasn't, I call it the Lady Hawk curse.
Yeah, so I'm raising my hand because that's new to me.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh boy. But it's been kind of fun because the focus has been off Snow and Charming because they've been asleep.
Yeah.
At least one of them has been.
Yeah. Thankfully, Baby Charming is still too little, I think, to realize what is going on.
Yeah, I'm just like, how long is this kid gonna be a kid, be a baby?
As long as they need him to, I think.
2 by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although it's funny because Once Upon a Time makes a big deal about how, true love's kiss doesn't have to come from romantic love. It could be, from your family. And it's like, Emma, get in there. Break the curse on your parents.
I'm sure that they thought of that, and I'm sure there's probably some, the evil queen probably thought of that and closed that loophole.
I just wish that they could have explained such to the audience, because I haven't heard the explanation yet. Like she tried it and it didn't actually work because of such and such thing.
Yeah.
But it was just. Oh, go ahead.
I was just wondering if the thing with Zelina, with the power for the kiss that was, wait a minute, I'm sorry, that was Hook. I was getting that reversed. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just kind of don't get me wrong, that episode where they were put under the curse was a really good episode, and I thought it was wonderful, and there's a lot of, Snow and Charming stuff that I'm just kind of like, yeah, we know. But I'm like, wow, this one is there's actually high stakes here. So I was impressed with that. And the next episode where they had that cute little thing where they leave notes for each other to read when the other one's awake, and they take pictures on the phone with baby Neil, and it's just like, oh, okay, that is sweet.
Yeah.
Hi, Mitch.
Hi. Sorry, I was at work, and then I had supper, and then I didn't realize that the call had already started.
It was about dinner time when we started for you. So.
Well, I mean, it said that the call started at 6:15, which is about when I got done work.
Oh, okay. We figured you'd pop in if time permitting. So.
Yeah.
Yep. We were just talking about Once Upon a Time. If you had any thoughts about it, you wanted to pipe in?
Nothing particular that I can remember wanting to talk about. No.
Okay.
So just continue on as you were.
Okay. I'll just jump in if you have a thought. But
okay.
Yeah, we talked about Rumple and Belle, and how Belle's actually an interesting character because they actually let her do things and have her own choices rather than, I just need to sit here and wait for Rumple to get his act together while he's off, murdering and ruining lives and being a dirty, rotten so-and-so. And
I struggle so much with Rumple because I love the idea of Rumple, and I'm glad that they finally got him to a point where he is, he's embracing who he is. He's like, I'm not going to change for anyone. Sorry, dearie. I am who I am, and that's the way it is. But you know, there's still a part of me that kind of wants to see Rumple be saved.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you.
Just because, you know, you can only, you know, I think you can only
how
have...
How many new roles can he stoop to?
Yeah. And you can only have the bad guy for so long, and, you know, unless you start getting into, like, you know, Batman territory, and he's going to be like the Joker to Emma's Batman, and he just pops up every now and then with some new scheme or something. It's like, unless he's going to be the resident villain, but you can only do that
for so long.
Yeah.
Well, and especially since he's been set up as the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, because, you know, the whole point of that fairy tale, and, you know, they could be twisting it, I don't, you know, which I think they are, but, you know, the whole point of that fairy tale is, you know, you don't judge by appearances. You look on their heart, on their character, and, you know, the Beast actually turns out to be a good person who's made some very bad decisions, and Belle loves him in spite of those poor decisions that he's made. And it's just like, well, you know, Belle can only love him. I mean, she it comes to a point where, Belle, what are you doing? It's like, you know, it's like it's the, you know, battered wife syndrome that just because it's, you know, a much serious thing than I'm making it, but it's kind of what it is, and I don't have another descriptor for it. It's just like, Belle, you need to stop. You know, this is abusive almost, although it is. Yeah. And, you know, she finally stood up for herself and said, no, I'm not going to do this. You know, especially, you know, I have a child, and I'm not going to subject a child to this, and I'm going to keep him away from you as much as possible. I don't care what you do to me, but you will not hurt him. Right. And I'm just, that was the point. I was like, Belle, I'm sorry you had to go through all this, but I stood up and cheered at that point. I was just like, finally! And it's like, she just realized he's never going to change, and that's, I mean, as much as we all want the happy ever after, sometimes it doesn't happen.
Well, and also too, Rumple's to the point where he's not lying and says he's going to change.
Mm-hmm. He flat out says, I'm going to be evil.
Exactly.
But I still want a life I still want to have a presence in my son's life, and Belle's just like,
that could happen.
Yeah. Well, and now their son has shown up, and he's an adult, so.
And he's
there's
thanks to Granny Dark One.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, no wonder Rumple became the Dark One.
I mean,
he's got psychopaths for parents.
It explains so many things.
It really does.
And Gideon really can't say hey, you abandoned me. It's just like, wait a minute. You do not know the extenuating circumstances here, bud. Mother was doing this to save your rear end.
Yeah. From judging from our short introduction, I don't think he cares.
No.
What the explanation is, so.
So basically, Gideon's basically got all the bad traits of Granny Dark One, Grandpa Peter Pan, and a little bit of Daddy Tossed.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Rumple just should never have kids.
Well, Neil didn't turn out that bad.
Sorry.
Though,
well,
Neil didn't turn out that bad.
No, he didn't. But he left.
True. I guess it was good. I think.
Yeah, because she left. So he left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I just feel so bad for Belle. She's trying. You know, she's doing what she feels is right. I mean, she's had so many chances for happiness, and she's just sort of hitched her horse to the wrong wagon, so to speak. Yeah. And I love. Yeah, no kidding. I just want Belle to be happy. Yeah. I don't care how it happens. Well, I do care how it happens, but
just a little
happiness. Yeah. Let's do this, guys.
I think that may be a testament, though, to the writing this season, that we're all like so torn, you know, about
yes,
you know, where this whole thing should go. It's like, You know.
It is.
Rumple
it is
makes
a
my
delicate
heart
situation.
hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, Gideon, you know you're trying to kill your sister-in-law?
Unless that's a misdirect. Unless that's a misdirect, which it could be. You know, we finally have the figure in the hood appear, and it just so happens to be Belle and Rumple's son, who was off in some dimension where time doesn't matter, and that explains how he's grown up, considering he was just an infant the day before.
Regina. What is it? Regina sped up Belle's pregnancy, which
the evil queen
not
did,
Regina,
not
evil
Regina.
queen.
We have to differentiate there.
Have to differentiate there.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. It's funny, as much as we've as a big a deal as the evil queen has been in this season, we really haven't talked about her at all.
She's the evil queen. I mean, she's meddling, she's conniving, she's everything that, you know, Regina has grown up out of.
And we were just kind of like, why do we have her again? Why is she being what she's doing?
Well, you know, it's I guess the thing with the evil queen is, one, to show how much Regina has grown. Mm-hmm. Which that in itself is always a good reminder. But she's also served as a plot device, because, you know, the thing with Rumple is, you know, Rumple's the dark one, but I think there is a part of him that does genuinely love Belle, but it's not strong enough. And there's a part of him that loves his son, you know, because no matter who you are, you're you know, he's still a parent, even if he is the dark one. So there's that bit that humanizes him, unlike the evil queen.
And he wanted those kids too. Yeah. It wasn't like he found out, I don't want them, let's get rid of them. He actually wants them.
Yeah, the evil queen,
as opposed to Cora at first with baby Zelina.
Yeah, the thing with the evil queen is she's just straight up evil. Mm-hmm. There's no compassion. There's no love there. You know, as much as she tried to, you know, convince Regina that she loved Robin too, because she was her, you know, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah. Mostly because Robin kept telling Regina, "You're not the evil queen, and I don't see evil in you. Yeah. I see someone who's ambitious or you know, driven, passionate, but not evil," or whatever. I can't remember what his thing was. So I'm just like, I doubt that the evil queen really liked Robin very much.
Yeah, and I think that's why we have her around. Is it allows us to have someone who is very, very has no morals, essentially. So having that pure evil, I guess. So with a little sass. Or a lot of sass.
Yeah.
So,
although
she lays it on very thick.
Yeah. It is kind of weird that she's like, "Oh, Henry, you're my little boy and I love you." And I'm just kind of like, ew.
Yeah.
I don't know why. She squicks me out.
Yeah.
With all of that. But,
well, you know. she squicked Aladdin out when she was having him make her an apple an apple teeny, and Regina, you know, she's like flirting with him, and he's just like, ew.
Speaking of flirting, her and Rumple.
Oh, stomach turning.
You can't see me, but I'm fake gagging. Yeah. Or am I really gagging? I don't know. Although that part where team, we kind of had a thing, and everybody, like Emma's face, Hook's face, even Henry's face was just like, please don't tell me that.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to know. Thank you. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, that was well played. I'm like, if nothing else went well in this season, that was worth it. That moment. It was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's where we're at. We did get a little teaser at the end of the episode for the upcoming season. So little fighting, a little action, a little adventure, and diamond ring.
Yep. No telling where that ring, who's holding that ring, or who it's meant to be for. But yay! Question mark.
Let the speculation start.
I don't want to get my hopes too high quite yet.
I'm sure a lot of people jumped right onto the Hook and Emma bandwagon. I have to go back and re-look at the little teaser again. But from the few seconds that we see it on screen, I'm hesitant to jump on that train just because I'm not sure if that ring is really Emma's style.
Yeah, I don't know, and I have to go back and look and see if I can figure out who's actually holding it. I mean, it could just be someone showing it to whoever, but
yeah,
it's still like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, a proposal. Like, ooh, weddings. I love weddings.
Drinks all around.
Yes.
Right, clap them in irons.
Hey, it's a Disney property. We can use that quote.
Yep. So we'll find out in March. Yeah. See how things go.
There will be no wedding crashers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoever it is.
Indeed.
We've only had one wedding so far that has not been crashed.
And that was at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it wasn't.
Rumple and Belle's was the only wedding that didn't get crashed.
Right, okay, never mind. Sorry.
That was the one wedding that probably should have been crashed.
Yeah. I know. Come on, Archie, what are you doing?
Like, you could have saved us a whole lot of heartache if that wedding had just not happened.
For crying out loud, could have spoken up. I'm like, sweetheart, I know you said you were sure about this, but
I'm not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Live and learn, and then you have a rapid pregnancy of the Dark One's baby. So.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it that way.
Well,
it's really weird.
Russell's list too, so this should be interesting.
Yeah. Don't think about Once Upon a Time too much. Get yourself a headache.
Yeah.
All the crazy family trees and who's doing what with whom and oh dear. How they're all related.
Well,
anyway.
On that happy thought, let's move on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh my goodness. Oh Lordy. I hate and love this show all at the same time. I really do. Every time, the season's been great. Ghost Rider has been amazing. They did Ghost Rider so well. I mean, both as a storyline and just visually. He's just a really cool looking. The visual effects when he, turns into the Ghost Rider was just amazing. The storyline itself has been compelling, bringing him in, with Daisy being off doing her thing, but then eventually coming back.
Kind of being the go-between.
Yeah, and this whole thing with the ghosts, these spirits, this magic book thing. It's been very, very good. Comic book TV.
Mm-hmm. Which I really loved the episode where Coulson and Fitz were in the ghost dimension, and they nobody when they found out what what the one guy what the guy was doing with the anti-inhuman senator.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, you found out about that? Ha! Oh, okay. Oops.
Yeah. I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad that they didn't drag that on too much. You know, that's a nice thing. You know, obviously they're setting stuff up. You know, I guess the effects from the MCU, but not really. I mean, the Sokovia Accords. You know, we're still seeing the fallout from Civil War and all of that. But you know, they didn't let stuff drag on too much. You know, the fits.
And they even mentioned Age of Ultron when director of S.H.I.E.L.D. found out about Ada.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, ignoring the fact I was mildly attracted to her. Does no one remember Ultron? Oh, yeah, it's just...
Well, I mean, who can blame him? She's attractive.
Yeah, yeah, I mean... yeah, as far as physical design is concerned, Dr. Radcliffe did a good job.
She's very beautiful.
Yes, she is. And the actress that's portraying her is doing a very good job, you know, essentially portraying someone who's not human. I mean, she's a machine. But she's a very convincing as a person. I mean, we all know, but I mean, she even convinced May, which we know May is like the most, you know, analytical and, you know, looks at everything twice and doesn't take everything at face value type of person. So if May was convinced Ada was a person, then, you know, that just goes to show how, but I think they needed to do that though too, considering what they did at the end of the episode for the finale.
Oh yeah.
We have this whole thing where they're trying to stop, you know, Robbie's uncle from, you know, essentially destroying everything. You know, he's got himself convinced that he's got, you know, these powers and the ability to make matter from nothing, and of course Fitz figures out that that's not the case, that what he's doing is stealing matter from elsewhere and changing it into whatever, which is causing these earthquakes, and they keep accusing Daisy of creating the earthquake. She's like, it's not me, guys. She's like, trust me, I would know.
Yes, my arm would be breaking.
Yes, well, they did get her some new gauntlets, so
yeah, that is true.
That helps quite a bit. So although, you know, that didn't stop her from, you know, taking off like a rocket after trying to absorb these earthquakes in the finale. So, but you know, we've got they managed to stop Robbie's uncle, which is good, but in the result of that is that Robbie goes missing in the process. Although I don't think we've seen the end of Robbie. You know, even Coulson was like, yeah, I don't think he's gone. I don't think we've seen the last of him. Like how Coulson drops the line, well, the other Ghost Rider came back. And kind of left it at that. Like, Daisy's like, what? It's like, long story.
It's like, yeah, we'll tell you later over lunch.
Yeah. No. So at the moment, Robbie is gone, but I think I think he'll come back. But you know, I really like the episode where because Robbie got pulled into the other dimension along with Coulson and Fitz, and the Ghost Rider was not having that. So the Ghost Rider moved from Robbie to Mac, which was very cool. And I think that helped give Mac some perspective on, because
Definitely.
Mac is very, okay, there's trouble, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna kick some butt, I've got my shotgun axe.
I'll ask questions later, I'll take care of the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was cool, because I think that gave Mac some perspective on what it's like for Robbie, and also for, I think, people with powers. I think it gave Mac some perspective there too, and I think that helped. He's still very protective of his team, especially of Yo-Yo.
Yes.
But I don't know, does anyone know what the ship name is for Mac and Yo-Yo, or Mac and Elena?
Yo-Yo Ma? I don't know.
I like that.
That was the first thing I thought of. I have no idea. Yo-Yo Mac.
Yo-Yo Mac.
I have no idea if that's official or not, but I'm going to use it.
I like it. Sold! I like how Yo-Yo, she I think she appreciates somewhat Mac's overprotectiveness, but at the same time, she's like, I'm an adult. I have powers. I know what my limits are. I know what I'm capable of. You're not, you haven't been, really there for me. But they get themselves resolved there at the end, which is nice. Although that non-fraternization rule may need to be thrown out the window. So.
Oh, yes.
But it was cool to see Mace in action. They're in the finale. It up to a point, other than helping with when May was possessed. We haven't do anything. We know he's an Inhuman. We don't really know what he's capable of. He's just been the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. running around in his suit and tie. Like the team that trusts is the team that wins, or whatever the crap is. Triumphs, yes, whatever the crap is. Catchphrase is.
I think that's on motivational posters in S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ.
Probably.
Oh, probably.
And their color-coded lanyards.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny when Daisy gets her lanyard and she's like, "What is the blue mean?" And Simmons is all,
no idea.
No one knows.
No one knows.
And I can just hear Nick Fury's, this is so stupid.
Probably. I like how they name dropped Agent Koenig too. It's like, oh, it's too bad he's not here to see this. They didn't really explain what happened to the living Koenig brother after a while. So I guess
maybe he's in Tahiti.
Hopefully not. So.
Well, maybe the real Tahiti.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He may have been reassigned elsewhere. So we'll just go with that. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Patton Oswalt's been a little busy. So,
a little bit, yeah.
Maybe he'll come back eventually. But
I'd be happy he's training him to take over for Relief if he has to go on vacation from Tony.
Yeah, maybe.
Happy does need a vacation. Yeah.
I like that. Headcanon that. Hill took Agent Koenig to Stark Industries. And he's working happily along at Stark Tech, handing out lanyards to everyone. Headcanon done.
Until we're told otherwise, that's what we're going with.
Yeah.
And his lanyards aren't blue.
No. His are just shiny.
Yes.
So, yeah. But we get the resolution with well, resolution. As resolved as it can be, considering Robbie's gone missing. But, yeah, Daisy gets exposed, and Mace essentially reinstates her as Agent Johnson, even acting like she's been with S.H.I.E.L.D. the entire time.
Even though he's been the one on the hunt for her.
Yeah, so he's got a safe face, especially in front of the press. He
True.
He is the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. The thing is they've brought it up several times throughout this chunk of the season about how Coulson insisted on someone else being the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they bring up all these reasons about how he thinks an Inhuman would make a better director, because that makes him more legitimate as far as Inhumans are concerned. The president he's not on the president's Christmas card list by any means after the things that have happened in the previous seasons. But I don't know if it's just they just assume everyone makes that connection, but I don't know why they haven't also brought up the fact that everyone thinks Phil Coulson is dead, and that's why he cannot be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore.
Yes, especially as someone in charge of Stark Industries.
Yeah, it's like he cannot be the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. as the director and go on TV, because I'm pretty sure the Avengers would notice.
Tony would be flipping the channel and be like, wait a minute, that's Phil.
That's Agent.
What's he doing on the news? That's Agent.
That's Agent.
That'd make it interesting.
I know.
Make for an interesting plot point in the next Marvel movie.
I know, and I don't know if they're not saying that just because it's implied enough if you follow along with the MCU enough, or if they're not mentioning it because reasons we don't know yet that may become important later. I don't know. So as one of my frustrations, and I know I've talked about this ad nauseum, with the fact that we've gotten some nice little touches here and there with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the movies themselves. Most of it has been the movies affecting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., although in Agent of Ultron it went the other way around. Mm-hmm. Although if you weren't watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you totally did not get the helicarrier, Nick Fury showing up with the helicarrier, why that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Nick Fury's like, oh, I just dusted this off. I found it sitting in a corner. I'm like, you did not, Coulson, put that together for you, Fury. But if you're not watching, you don't know. So,
well, it's interesting you're pointing all this out, because, like you said, Marvel has been so meticulous at keeping all these details straight. It is so weird that there's this one thing that they haven't addressed properly.
Yeah.
Either in the show or in the movies or however they want to do it. It's just kind of like, guys, are you just getting sloppy, or is there a point to all this?
I'm hoping that there's a point and they're just playing a very long game.
Yeah, because I don't think Tony would buy the witness protection program line.
No. No. Yeah. It's like, they could bring Coulson back, but at this point, excuse me, hairball. I got myself all worked up. I'm like choking on my own saliva. I'm just so passionate about this. Where the MCU is right now, I don't think bringing Coulson back would make much sense, because at the moment the Avengers are split. So,
yeah.
I
guess I wouldn't want them to bring him back. It's just kind of like, acknowledge that they know he's alive or something, even if it's just like a one-off MCU short that they put on the Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, or something, because even at this point, as far as I know, the Avengers are concerned, S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. It's not a thing. And, of course, now S.H.I.E.L.D. is a legitimate thing. They're out of the shadows. They've got this director guy who's not Coulson, but, there's a guy in charge, so S.H.I.E.L.D. is a legitimate agency. They're doing things that obviously are catching attention of the news. So, even with the whole Civil War thing and them, some of them being off in Wakanda and, Tony running around with Kid in Queens, it's like, surely someone has turned on a TV set and been like, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D., they're a thing again. Oh, yeah, and it may bring up some memories of Coulson and all that. And we're like, oh, too bad Coulson's not alive to see S.H.I.E.L.D. come back to being its former glory. Like, he's alive. So, I don't know. I just, it's just one of those things that's like, I don't think Marvel's being sloppy at all. I think it's more a timing thing more than anything, and that's something that Kevin Feige has said multiple times. Is just the timing does not work really well with TV versus movies. The movies are planned years in advance. The scripts are written years in advance. TV, the scripts are written like months in advance before they film those particular episodes. So it's strictly a timing thing, but I would hope at some point, hoping that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stays on TV long enough for them to finally get that big crossover. So, I mean, the fact that, Hill knows that Coulson's alive. So, Hill is running around knowing that. Fury is alive, knowing that Coulson is alive. Lady Sif knows that Coulson is alive. So, it's like
it's bound to
the secret be kept safe.
Yeah.
It's bound to get back to the team at some point.
Yeah, and it's not like Coulson, he's not director of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, but he's not sitting at a desk doing paperwork either. Like, he's out there running around in the streets doing ops. Surely someone, he'll get caught on camera or something, and somebody will be like, holy crap, that's Bill Coulson! But, as frustrating as I am, am at this, I have to be like, it's Marvel. They know what they're doing. They have a plan. They haven't let you down so far. Just take a chill pill. And then they pull crap like this, like they did in the finale. Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D. aside, and then they go and pull crap like they did with Agent May in the finale.
And then you're just like, what?
Yes. Oh, it's like every time, mid-season finale and winter finale, spring finale, ever since the beginning of the show, they've got me like trained like Pavlov's dog. Like, it's a finale, your blood pressure is going to go up like 50 points because they're going to pull some crap.
And then they play it off like, oh, everyone's just going to go out to have lunch and, no big deal, everything's going to be fine. And you're just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. And come on, I know what's coming.
I know, but then for a second there was part of me that was like, oh, this isn't so bad. The team is back together. They're at the base. Daisy's been back into S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like everyone's together. Fitz and Simmons and Mac and Yo-Yo are, doing their thing. And, Coulson and May are finally going to crack open that vintage drink thing that I have no idea what they're talking about, but it sounds expensive. It's like the team's there, and Mace is cool with it seems like, and he's telling Radcliffe, he's like, we're not going to dismantle Ada, but you do have to bring your work to the base. And Radcliffe's like, okay, that's cool, I get S.H.I.E.L.D. funding, awesome. And access to S.H.I.E.L.D. tech, I can live with that. You're not going to dismantle Ada? Awesome, So it's like, yay, the band's back together. And then, they Mace is like, yeah, we sent an agent to your place to go collect all your stuff and Ada and all that. And Radcliffe's like, okay, cool. Let's go have a drink. You want a beer? Sure. And, Ada, this agent is packing up the stuff at Radcliffe's place and accidentally opens this door and sees something that shocks him. And Ada ends up killing him. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I figured that was the thing. Like, oh, Ada's gone a little rogue. She's murderous now. That's scary.
Didn't she overhear something about them wanting to dismantle her?
It may be.
What I was thinking, that she was trying to protect herself. Like, okay, they're coming to take this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm on the chopping block.
Yeah.
No disassemble.
Yeah, maybe,
To paraphrase Johnny Five.
Yeah, that may be her her motivation. I don't know. But it's like, she kills this agent, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, psychopath, life model decoy. That's bad. But the agent that died, not anyone I really care about, so I can live with that. And then it goes to commercial. And I'm like, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It comes back and we realize that Ada's got Agent May. That's what the agent saw, was May passed out in the corner with like blood on her head. And Ada's apologizing to Melinda. And I'm like, wait, but Melinda's at the base oh, crap, she's been replaced! I lost it. I absolutely lost it. I was like, dang you, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just when I... Oh.
Yeah, and the thing is, when they first cut back to the base with the replacement May, I completely, like, the fact that May was at Radcliffe's lab and knocked out and whatever, completely slipped my mind, and I'm like just going along with the scene, and then it hit me that, oh crap, that's not the real May. No! Like, it's just going along, and I'm right there with them, and then it's like, wait a sec.
I know!
You forgot this very important thing.
I know.
What did you do?
Oh my goodness, the show. Ugh. It's like,
the show.
It's like, there's the other shoe. I'm like, what? Wait.
That's the other shoe right there.
No. But then that's the whole point of, if Ada fooled May, should be good enough to fool everyone else. And so far,
Yep. Apparently so.
They managed to drop a whole bunch of little things that, like the life model decoys, they have synthetic blood. So if May was to get, the fake May was to get injured, she would bleed. They're programmed to feel and react to pain. So they've got that too. Obviously, she can carry on a conversation enough. She sounds like her. She walks like her. She talks like her. It's like, they've let us know. They've let us know that these life model decoys are passable enough to someone as discerning as Agent May that, that who knows how long the decoy is going to be there before they figure it out.
Well, and even if you're not looking for it, then you're just kind of like, well, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, there were some choice words said at the end of the
directed at the Whedons.
Which this happens every finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh my goodness. So yeah, second half of the season. Ultron Light 2.0, I guess. So it's going to be Ultron-esque, but not quite, because in this case, obviously the machines are passable as humans, which Ultron was not. But at the same time, you know, even with the knowledge and information that Ada took from the Darkhold, the book, she's probably still not as powerful as Ultron, just because she doesn't have the access to information that Ultron did. Like, Ultron was hooked up to the same, you know, system as Jarvis, and therefore had access to, like, everything, you know, the entire internet and the nuclear launch codes and everything. So, unless Ada's gonna, like, plug herself into the internet, her knowledge is not as vast as Ultron's, but we don't know exactly what all she learned from the Darkhold either, so she's got different knowledge than Ultron, which...
It might even be worse than what Ultron had.
It might be worse. So, but, yeah, you know, yeah, psychopathic killer robots.
Just another Tuesday at S.H.I.E.L.D.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Literally, because the show's on Tuesdays.
Yeah, pretty much. And the thing is, it's like, they even did exactly what I predicted they would probably do when we talked about the beginning of the season. Like, we've got these life model decoys. Odds are at some point someone's going to get replaced.
You called it.
I called it. And I'm still mad.
We owe you a Snickers when we see you.
I'm mad at myself for being right.
Now, do you think Coulson's going to catch on right away? That it's not me?
I don't know. And I think a lot of that will also depend on, you know, what they decide to do with Coulson and May. I know there's a lot of people out there that really want to see Coulson and May become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see it.
I mean, I can kind of see it, but I kind of,
in
my opinion, I don't want to see them go that way.
Yeah.
If you want to get it.
Yeah, I totally understand it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. The thing
it kind of would feel like it'd be not.
Yeah. The thing is with
their characters.
The thing with Coulson and May is now they're both unattached. You know, unfortunately, Andrew's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. I never liked the whole Coulson Rosalind Price thing to begin with. But I don't think they necessarily need to start pairing people off. Fitz and Simmons, I totally get as a couple. Mac and Yo-Yo, they're adorable, so I don't mind that so much. The whole Daisy Lincoln thing, I think it was more they're young, they're both Inhumans trying to find their place in the world type of thing, but I don't think it was ever going to really work.
Them type.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work long term, I think. But I think the thing with Coulson and May is they know each other so well that I don't think they could be romantic with each other. Is their friendship, I think, is too long and too deep. But I don't think their personalities would necessarily work as a romantic couple. They work really well as coworkers and as very, very good friends. You know, they know each other's histories and the skeletons in their closet and their demons and that sort of thing. But I don't see Philinda as it's called on the interwebs as a romantic pairing. If they decide to go that way, just to see, maybe use it as a plot device to see if it was to go that way, would that make it show just how good the Life Model Decoy is? And have it be like a one-off thing? It's like, they drink their thing and, it's a drunken one-night thing and they realize, Phil gets fooled completely, but at the same time they realize, that was dumb. Let's not ever do that again. We're better off as friends, but it also shows just how good this decoy of May is, I could probably live with that. You know, just because they've shown so far just how passable the LMDs are, but
this is how
that's a step they haven't taken yet. So.
Yeah, this is kind of how I look at Coulson and May. It's sort of the same. It kind of reminds me of a camaraderie in the military, whereas you have your fellow soldiers and your I'm gonna slaughter all the terms, and I know it's different. So if there are any military people out there listening, I apologize if I get all this wrong. But your squadron, the people that you fight with, there's like a bond there that isn't. It's not romantic, but it's it's a shared experience that you have in the military, and it kind of transcends that kind of a thing. And it's your buddies you get together with every so often, have a drink with. You don't necessarily have to talk about the things you went through because you all know, and it's like, and they understand you all understand each other in a way that people who haven't gone through something like that never will. And it's a little bit different than romance. So yeah, I agree. I don't really want to see them as a romantic couple because there's something completely different. So that's kind of my take on it. Because S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, it's not necessarily a military thing, but they do a lot of the same. They go through a lot of the same types of things in fighting and combat. I don't know. Just my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I love the characters, but I really don't want it to be. I wanted to keep it as, this kick butt superhero, science fiction, whatever show, and I really don't want it to get bogged down with romance.
Sun's free.
Yeah.
Does everybody have to be paired off?
Yeah. That drama doesn't necessarily need to come into play. So don't need to start pairing people off just for the sake of it. Just good ship Fitzsimmons. I'm all for it.
Oh yes, Fitzsimmons. Oh my gosh, my brain is dead. Yep. Fitzsimmons, love it. Everything else,
Yep.
I mean, I liked Bobby and Hunter, but they're not in the show anymore, so it's just kind of like...
They're not. Maybe they'll come back eventually. Since they're not getting their own show now. But anyway. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Once upon a time, we love you, we hate you. Give us more.
Yep.
Can we please have some more, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, and then they slap you in the face with another cliffhanger or some other feels wrenching.
It's like, here you go, little child. Here's some more soup. By the way, I'm gonna beat you upside the head with the ladle in the process. Oh my! And let's see. Once upon a time, we'll be back in March, but I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be back in January.
I believe so.
Probably, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the interim.
Yep. Oh yes, and we cannot forget in the interim, Yo-Yo is getting her own little series on the interwebs.
Yes, she is.
That was the little teaser they kept teasing us with. They kept teasing us with this teaser, this whole like special thing at the end of the episode, and I thought it was gonna be the Spider-Man trailer. Like, no, by the way, Yo-Yo's gonna get her own little mini series online. Like, cool. So in the interim, you can have Yo-Yo entertain you. Being Yo-Yo. She's fabulous. I love her.
Yep. Yes, and if you, dear listener, would like to chime in with your thoughts on Once Upon a Time or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything else that we've discussed at any point in time in the podcast's history, which that's a lot,
Yeah.
you can send us feedback at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. We will read it out on the podcast if you send that in to us. And also, you can go to our website and see what we're doing there. Our website is the5ishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com. You can find all of our links on social media at our website. We're on Facebook, which is where we post a lot of stuff. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where these episodes get posted, as well as they're posted on iTunes, Stitcher, and the Google Play Store. So we're all over the place. And as always, we're very grateful for our Patreon supporters. You guys make this possible for us to put this podcast out. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, you can do that on our website as well. And also support us through our Amazon store, which is also on our website. So go to our website and find all of our lovely goodies there.
All the things. All the things.
And thanks to all the listeners who let us know about our slight technical difficulties last week.
Yes,
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and we got it fixed, so it's all good.
Yep.
It was an easy fix.
Yes, thank goodness. Always a good thing when it's an easy fix. That's why our listeners are awesome, though, for letting us know those sorts of things. So, minor snafu, but all good. All good. So, and also, dear listener, I will make sure to post it on our Facebook page, but I did post on Twitter today. Speaking of feedback, obviously, we're barreling towards the end of the year. As of recording this, we've only got a couple weeks left, less than 2 weeks till Christmas. So we've got stuff coming up, that little Star Wars movie that's coming out at the end of this week. That's obviously we will be talking about that. So hopefully everyone's got their tickets. If not, you may want to get on that.
We're getting ours soon.
Yeah. It's from what I've heard so far, it is really, really good. So I'm basing that off of Chris Hardwick's review on Instagram. So according to Chris Hardwick, it's very, very awesome. So I will take his word for it. So we've got Rogue One and Doctor Who to finish off the year. So Doctor Who's coming back. Yay! I'm so excited. So we got those to finish out the year, and then we are planning on doing our annual year in review, which not really looking forward to actually, but we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's sweep the old year out and get a brand new one in here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I did post on our Instagram today that we're happy to take your feedback anytime, but we are especially looking for feedback for that year in review episode. So if you've got something that stands out as far as fandom is concerned, a movie that really stood out to you, or maybe you went to a convention and met a celebrity that really stood out, hopefully whatever stands out to you is all positive.
If you're choosing to look at the positive, more power to you.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but we would really like your input on that for our year in review. So if you got something you want to mention about 2016 as far as our fandoms are concerned, please send us, drop us a line, either comment on Instagram or email us or chat us up on Facebook or whatever. So, and we may just read your comment on that particular episode. So, you've got some time. Obviously, you have until 2017. So, to get that in. Well, that is where we are at.
Alrighty. So that's
awesome. Well, fabuloso. We shall sign off for this week.
Hey, this is Chrissy in Salt Lake City saying goodnight.
This is Dolly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
This is Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Annapolis, Indiana. I don't like magic or clowns. Clowns with knives and magic in the dark.
Been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.